Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? It's a little bit later in the day. I wanted to record this video earlier, but it's been one of those weekends. There was something going on in the building yesterday. We were all pulled out, just getting rid of some stuff there. So that put a whole damper on the day. And then this morning we woke up and no power. So it's like 2 o'clock now and I'm starting a recipe. But this one's really quick and easy to prepare. It takes a little bit of time to chill in things, but it's super, super easy and is probably one of the most decadent desserts you'll ever try in your life. You've probably had them before. You've probably bought them and complained about how expensive they were. And when you see how simple they are to make, I promise you will never buy them again. What I'm talking about are chocolate truffles. Those little balls, sometimes they're plain, sometimes they're dusted in just a little bit of cocoa or icing sugar. And now with it being the holidays, I want to dust some in just some candy canes that I bought that I crushed up as best I could. I could have done it in the food processor, but I have a huge processor, and for the amount of canes I want to mash, it just doesn't pay. It's too much cleaning, and I hate doing dishes. That's another reason I love this, because it really only takes 2 bowls. What I have in here is a pound of chocolate, and all I have done, as you can see, is I've broken it up as best as I can. Again, you can do this in the food processor, but the smaller you get the pieces, the faster it's going to melt, the smoother they're going to be, which is what truffles are all about. And for 1 pound of chocolate, I have half a cup of heavy cream, 35% or higher cream. You can use whipping cream, but if you can get either cooking cream or just what they call heavy cream, that's perfect. And in there, I've added 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I figure if we have to heat it up and everything, might as well do it all at the same time. On the stove, I know it's just to the side and I'm shooting at a little different angle today. It's because I have to get into my microwave, which is right over here. And that is because we're just going to heat up the cream in the microwave. A few 30-second bursts till it's hot. We don't want it to boil. The last thing you ever want is cream or milk to boil, especially in your microwave, because you'll never clean it. You'll end up chucking out your microwave and buying a new one. It's just a mess when it gets all over the place. I just noticed the lights flickering, so fingers crossed we don't lose our power again. Let's try and get through this quickly. Wish us luck. So, that's going to go in the microwave for 30 seconds to start. For 30 seconds, I'm not worried about it overheating. What I am going to do, though, is on the stove, I have a pot small enough that my bowl won't touch the water, with just an inch of water in the bottom. That is just a protection policy. If this amount of liquid won't melt everything, the lights are flickering. I don't like this. Sorry if it's got a little bit dark, but if this cream doesn't melt all the chocolate, I can use the steam and the hot water to help just melt everything. So I'm going to get that on. And that doesn't have to be boiling or anything. It just has to be hot. So I can feel my cream is heating up. We'll just give it a little mixy mix, and you can see some of the steam coming off of that. So we'll give that another 30 seconds. Whoops, not 3 minutes. Well, we'll pull it out. You're all here to remind me to pull this out in 30 seconds and not wait for the beep this time. So for this, for the chocolate, you can use chocolate chips, either semi-sweet or dark. Milk if you want. I've even done truffles with white chocolate. They are a little bit harder to do, but they come out and they're so good. And when I'm doing the white chocolate ones, what I like to do is add either some like orange extract or mint extract, any kind of flavor to the cream. And this way you just get that crazy flavor right when you bite into it. So my cream is hot. Took about 45 seconds for half a cup. And this just we pour right onto our chocolate. And it does seem like there's a lot more chocolate than cream, but that's what we want. And already, there we go, you can see that that cream is melting the chocolate. And it's getting all nice and smooth. You don't want to use a whisk when you're doing this, because what will happen is you'll end up getting a lot of air into it. That's what a whisk does. And what will happen is, instead of making truffles, another joy of truffle making, if you get some chocolate on you, who cares? Lick it off. Is if you whip this, you'll make the best chocolate icing ever. So this has melted down really well, as you can see. There's still a few little lumps in there, but from working it, cream could have been maybe a touch hotter, not the end of the world, but we want to keep this, obviously we want to keep this as thick as possible, because we have to chill this and then turn it into little chocolate balls. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause the camera for a sec. I'm just going to quickly put this over my hot water bath just to get rid of the last remaining few chunks, and I'll be right back. And we're back. That took a minute just over the hot water. And what we have now is a totally, I'm trying to do this so I don't pour it on the counter, obviously, but a totally smooth, thick chocolate ganache, which is exactly what we've made here. It's all a truffle is. So if I wanted to, say, make a glaze for a chocolate cake, for a pound of chocolate, I would use about a cup, maybe a little bit more, of the cream. I want it nice and thick, so I use less cream. And that's all there is to it. And if you want to make that whipped chocolate icing, like I said, do about a little bit more than half the cup of cream that I used. But I'm just stirring this to make sure all the little bits of chocolate are melted, and they are now. And again, best part about it, you can lick your fingers on this one. Now comes the hardest part. And that is we have to sit this in the fridge until it firms up. I'm gonna cheat because I want this to go a bit quicker. So I'm putting it in my freezer behind me. So again, we're going to pause the video. As you saw, this took 5 minutes to do. It's going to sit in the freezer for about half an hour. I'd say we want this to get firm enough so that we can handle it. And when we form it into a ball, it's going to keep its shape. So we'll see you all when this is all frozen up. We'll see you soon. Hello everyone and welcome back. Our chocolate mix is nice and hard. You can see I've donned some gloves because this part does sometimes get a little messy, but that's okay. If you have like really warm hands, gloves are a good idea. It'll just help stop everything from sticking as much. I also have just here a little small ice cream scoop. If you don't have one, it's not the end of the world. You can just scoop some out with this little spoon and roll them in your hands. I just find this is a little bit quicker and easier. So I just get a little bit. The spray just makes it come out easier, that's all. And that's it. You roll them out. I like to try and get them about small walnut size. They're just a little bit easier to eat that way. You can make these as big or as small as you want. But this one I can feel it made a bit harder, a bit bigger. And we just keep doing this till they're all nice and done and rounded. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to come out. When that happens, just give your scooper another little spray. See, like mine could use another spray now. But this is where the gloves come in really handy, because otherwise by now I'd be covered in chocolate, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but so almost done here. This will make me about a dozen or so truffles. Obviously, if you make them smaller, you'll get more. If you have a bowl scraper, that comes in really handy towards the end to make sure you get all the chocolate out of there. Almost done. You can see how quick this is and how easy it is. And this is what kills me when I go to the shops and I see them charging $2 and $3 per truffle. The chocolate I bought was $5 a pound. The candy canes, honestly, I bought at the dollar store because I knew I was going to break them up. And those were $1, and I have a ton left over still. I'm just getting the last of it out. And things like icing sugar and cocoa powder, we all have. And you can jazz this up and use some crushed pistachios or almonds or anything you like on these. It'll still taste great. Okay, so the last one was a bit on the small side. That's fine. Just going to scoop every little bit out. We'll just add it to that last one. So there we are. We're just going to put that aside. And now all you do is I just have my stuff in little ramekins just because it makes it a bit easier. You just roll it around. Give it a little hand if it needs. And you have your truffle. So really, really easy. Figure we'll do a few chocolate. Cocoa is the traditional way, or the traditional coating, because this way it almost looks like a real truffle. And it doesn't matter if they aren't perfectly round. They're still going to taste the same as soon as you eat them. So we have our white ones. And all I'm doing is spinning it in the bowl with the icing sugar. Now you do have to work a little quick because these are going to soften up, and you do need to keep them in the fridge if you're not eating them or serving them right away, or even better, keep them in the freezer. for the candy canes, just give it a little help. See, my truffles are already starting to soften up a little bit. So work a little bit faster. Candy canes could have been done a little bit finer, but oh well. We'll finish the last few off with some of the cocoa. And the last one. You can even go totally nuts and do dual layer. Roll them in both the cocoa and something else. But I find that's enough. Gloves can come off now. And as you can see, we have our beautiful truffles. They're rolling all over the place. So, for once, I'm going to have a tasting here that isn't going to burn my mouth. Since it's the holidays, we'll go for one of the festive ones. You can see it's got all the candy canes on it. Got a little bit of truffle mix there, but who cares? And normally, truffle you eat in one bite. Sorry for the brief pause there, but that was so good, it just instantly melted in my mouth. The candy cane gave a nice little crunch, little texture to it, and it's just so good. Of course, the better the chocolate you use, the better your truffles are going to come out. My mouth is watering from that. It was so good. So, there we go. The most decadent chocolate dessert possible with two basic ingredients, chocolate and cream. Can't get much easier than that. You saw how quick it was to assemble and to do everything. It takes a little bit of time to roll them out, but that was even nothing. And then dusting them with the powders. So, I really hope you give these a try. Put these on your goodie plates that you give to people. Bring them out of the freezer right after a dinner, just to top it off that perfect way. And what's even better is you take one of these, you drop it in your cocoa, you drop it in your hot chocolate, just let it melt and dissolve and stir it in there, and bring your hot chocolate just up to that next level. I promise you, it will be the best cocoa you've ever had. So, for those of you who are new to the channel, I really hope you liked this video, that you'll hit that subscribe button down below, and hit that bell notification so that you see when I come out with new videos like this. They aren't always sweet. A lot of times I do pizza, I can do roasts, we've done everything at this point, and we've got a lot more to do. If you're coming back to the channel, remember to hit that thumbs up button, show YouTube and show me that you like the content that I'm creating. Also, as always, I am partnered with Buy Me a Coffee. I'll put the link in the description below. Well, my co-star's deciding to say something. I have partnered with Buy Me a Coffee, so you can always find that link down in the description. And if you like what I'm doing, it just helps to contribute to the channel that little bit. So thank you ever so much for coming by. My name is Andrew. I am the 5 p.m. chef. And we'll see you all next time. Have a great day.